Hey, hi, hello creatives. Welcome back or to my channel. My name is Lindsay, and as you see, we are diving into my September bullet journal setup. So if you haven't set yours up yet or you want to journal along with me, grab your notebook and let's get started. Today I'll be using my B5 Archer and Olive size notebook, a acrylograph greenish blue pen, my jelly rolls, 2 different washi tapes, some stamping with white ink, some leftover paper, and a bunch of pictures I've printed off from travels that I've used, or not necessarily travels, of different visits that we've gone to the Toronto Zoo. So normally, if you've seen any of my previous setups, you'll notice that I always print off pictures and do some collaging. And this month, I decided to do the theme of the Toronto Zoo because we've gone to the Toronto Zoo a lot of times in the last, I'd say, 3 months. Ever since it opened back up and we felt safe to go, since most of it is all outside and they've only just started opening the pavilions and stuff. But yeah, so I've just used, so all the pictures that you see me using today are ones that I've actually taken being at the zoo. So my cover page, I did keep pretty simple. I struggled so hard with doing this S in the acrylograph paint pens. They work good, yes. I don't know how to use them properly, but they were coming. Maybe I was trying to be too impatient. I know I'm an impatient person, but it was, I guess maybe I was going too fast with them, but they just weren't filling properly. I had to go over a few times, which I kind of was anticipating considering I'm going over black paper. But I also, with the white, I had to go over it like 4 or 5 times and it was just driving me crazy. So I let you see me struggle here for a little while, and then I basically speed it up and just kind of skip to it being completed, because I probably spent a good, I'd say 20 to 30 minutes just coloring in that S. If I would have known it, I wouldn't have done it, because this month I don't know if you'll be able to notice too much. I not necessarily was rushing, but I was trying to do this not overthinking anything and just laying down the pictures and just, putting as little not necessarily effort, because I always put effort into everything creative that I do, but I just wanted for this to be faster. Normally my bullet journal setups take me about an hour and a half, and not that this one took me any shorter. And I did have, you'll see later that I do lose a little bit of footage, but you get the gist of what I did. You don't lose too much, but yeah, so I kept the cover page pretty straightforward. I like to do these little clusters just to basically summarize what my theme is going to be. I did use this white pigment stamp, ink, no, wow, ink stamp? No, not stamp ink, ink pad. Wow, that was good. So I was trying to use this, and I did use it throughout the entire setup, but I noticed that as I closed pages, the ink would bleed onto the other side, again, because I'm impatient and I didn't wait for it to fully dry. So I honestly just used an eraser and it went away very, very quickly. But yeah, so then I added those squiggly lines on the side there, very inner. Caitlin's Corner, Caitlin from Caitlin's Corner came out there. It's something that she likes to do a lot in her journal spreads, so I got some inspiration there. And then now I'm setting up my monthly calendar, and as I said, this greeny kind of bluey color just really didn't want to work for me. And so normally this little this footage here normally is very satisfying, but as you see, the ink just didn't want to come out properly. I don't know if I wasn't holding it properly. I mean, it still turned out fine. It still did eventually work. It just was kind of annoying, especially with me wanting to do a quicker-ish kind of setup. But like I said, it did work fine. It got the job done, but there was definitely some struggles there. So and then so on my monthly page, I like to keep track of when I have 5 bills that come out that I like to keep track of when they're due. Sometimes their dates fluctuate just a little bit because of obviously the weekends and stuff. So I just like to visually see when they're due, and I do use my monthly calendar on a regular basis to put events and stuff on. And then I did a very, very quick cluster, as you saw in the bottom right hand corner, and I move along to my next spread. So if you've watched any of my other previous setups for my monthly setups, you'll see or you'll hear and know that we are currently house hunting. So it is actually like full blown. We're going to see houses. We haven't put any offers on any houses because we haven't had any of them that are just right for us. But it's go time. It is go time. I'm very excited. We haven't had the necessarily adrenaline of putting an offer in on a house and then the disappointment of losing said house, because it is such a seller's market right now that you could put offers on 10 different houses and still not get it. So definitely not looking forward to that, but I'm looking forward to finally purchasing our house and being able to move in, and our fingers are crossed for before Christmas. I think we're honestly like safe at that moment, like at that time for that time frame, but it's still a goal. Still, the location that we're looking at, they don't have houses listed on a regular basis, so we're never going to have like tons and tons of houses to choose from. So we got to kind of make sure that we're being realistic and all that kind of stuff. But so I'm just quickly doing a little cluster in the middle of the right hand page, which is where I keep track of our paychecks and where our money is going and stuff. So I obviously divide it into 4 different quadrants for our 4 different paychecks that we'll get this month for September, and then that spread's done, because my house hunting spread is just going to be different stuff, that like a brain dump for all of our pros and cons of different houses and all that kind of stuff. And then this is my a line a day, but I wanted to kind of keep with a little bit of the theme of only writing in one of the letters. So then I decided to use the word memories instead of the longer phrase. And here is where I lost a little bit of footage. You lose where I put everything down on the bottom left hand side. And then I did have this all pre-arranged on the right hand side, which is what I have as a mood board, but I took everything off except for obviously the craft paper, because that was already glued down. But this is why this came together so quickly, was because I already kind of situated all of the pictures of where I wanted it. So I was still able to show you me gluing them down and adding my little doodles, as I like to do, just to add some more interest to the page and, you know, making those pictures stand out more and more. I have been doing this mood board, I'd say, since April, and I love doing it. I love, and I know I say this every monthly setup, but it just goes to show that I love doing this little page. It helps me open my journal, and just because it's pretty and just fun to do. So now we're already diving into the first 2 weeks of the month, and I have been sticking with this layout for a few weeks now, and I do really like it because as I've mentioned in my last videos, that I do add a cluster of photos and stuff on each page, as you see that I'm doing right now. And I really like how it kind of fills the page a bit, because I don't daily journal. I don't have events and so much things happening that I write down so many different tasks and stuff. I'm still new. I'm still trying to create this bullet journal more to like create the habit of being organized and recording everything down and just making so that I open my journal more than just once a week. And it's something that I'm still working on. But so where I'm getting at with this is the fact that I fill up a lot of the page so I don't get overwhelmed with having such a big blank piece of paper in front of me, where I add in these pictures to kind of make it decorative so that I can kind of doodle around it or, randomly put down a task list and stuff like that, where because this is a B5's notebook, these pages are really big. So I am deciding to use a A5 size for my 2022. So that's why I like to add in these little clusters and stuff and make sure that I don't get too overwhelmed by a big blank page to have to write down so much stuff in it. But yeah, no, I'm just putting in this last cluster here, and I love how this turned out. I like that I kept it pretty simple and just used the stamp and some washi tape. But we are at the end of this video. So if you made it this far, I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some inspiration. I hope you like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of the things. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next upload, and I will see you very, very soon in my next video. Bye!